Hello, I'm Tanatambio TC channel, and let's decide what, at least from what I've gotten over the years, and I'll show you this is kind of like a show of my collection, but also, I guess, kind of decide what my favorite popcorn bucket and or soda kind of cup or whatever is. There is one other I do have. Oh, something just fell over back there. I'll take care of that later. But these are most of what I've gathered over the years. I excluded like plastic or paper buckets from this. I do have like, I think they only had a Mario, when the Mario movie was out, they only had like a paper popcorn bucket for some reason at my theater. And then any others were plastic. So I'm excluding those. But these are, as well as I'll exclude plastic cups, at least ones that aren't like designed like this. They're just kind of just regular cups with pictures on them, and that's it, which I do have a few of those. But we'll just take a look at these for now. I've actually been planning on having some popcorn in one of these. So I have a hard choice between two buckets in particular. I do like this one. I'll get to this Lord of the Rings one later. I do like that one, but I'm mainly undecided on these two. Also, sorry for the camera. When I have to zoom it out, for some reason, the camera quality changes. Like, look at that. I don't know why it does that. Let me try and focus it better. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. This is weird. But if I want to get everything in the shot for the most part, I have to do that, sadly. But I'm having a hard choice between these two. This one was given to me by a friend, and I love the Beetlejuice movie. I also love Tron, but I prefer the second Beetlejuice movie probably over the Tron Ares movie, if I had to choose one. But I would say the best Tron movie. I like Tron Legacy best of the series, and I like the first Beetlejuice the best of the two movies that exist. And I love the Beetlejuice cartoon. So I'm having a hard decision with this. This is a cooler popcorn bucket, honestly. Like, I love that it lights up and everything. But, where this one's more normal and regular, this one's more practical. This one isn't quite as easy to eat popcorn out of, so it doesn't make for a good popcorn bucket, honestly. So I think of the best popcorn bucket I had, it's got to be the one my friend gave me, because it is both a cool popcorn bucket and it's more practical in use for popcorn. So I gotta give the Beetlejuice one the win. So these ones can get the frick off my goddamn table so that I can take a look at these other ones. God, look at this. Let's do the bigger ones. Now, I've only been able to get two giant popcorn buckets in the last couple years or so. One is the Superman one, which is just like background of the Fortress of Solitude, along with the actor who plays Superman. I like it a lot. But I do like the colors on the Godzilla X Kong. I'm a big Godzilla fan. I love the colors on this. I love the image of Godzilla. I love the image of Kong. I just love the colors better. And it pops out nicely. Yeah, it just pops out more to me. So, bigger buckets, even though I do like this one, and I actually still eat popcorn. I had some popcorn recently in this one, actually. I think I like this one better. So let's move the frick off the table. There are so many great popcorn buckets that I've seen. Even some ones I wanted to get, but sadly sold out. Like there's a light cycle one where it's like just literally the light cycle. But sadly I did not get my hands on that. There's other cool looking Tron Ares buckets. Then there's that freaking Galactus head bucket for the Fantastic Four movie. That was freaking crazy. So all of these are going to be categorized, but I think because I want to do the cover versions against each other. So this was not a very good. A lot of people did not like this movie. I liked it. I liked it fine enough. It gave me what I wanted. I'm a giant fan of Black Manta, so I was happy with what I got. I got Black Manta versus Aquaman, Ocean Master even. And this is a very nice popcorn bucket, I have to say, and I love the cover to it even. This is a nice popcorn bucket. It's not a great superhero movie, but it was serviceable for me, being a sucker for just Black Manta, the Black Manta character. Such a cool character. But is it better than the War of Rolim? I love saying that freaking name, by the way. This is a cool bucket. I love the 3D, like, freaking parts where you can feel the ridges and stuff. It looks like armor. I wish there was a little bit more to it than just, like, somebody's armor. But, I mean, it's fine. It doesn't particularly say, other than the top part, which is probably my favorite cover of the two. I think this cover is freaking awesome. It's like a shield. This was also, by the way, technically given to me by a friend, so it might have that. The movie, do I like the movie better than this? I might like the movie better. I liked the animation and such. Yeah, I'd say it's better. I mean, technically you could argue that some of the CGI isn't very good in this movie compared to this, where the animation was pretty clean. I think if there's one problem that technically they both share, is there are parts that feel rushed in the pacing and such, so which one do I go with? I like both of these equally. That's a hard one. God, I am a sucker for both of these. Also, this one has a nice feel to it. I do like the whatever this texture is. I think this one. I'm gonna go with War of Rolim. It's just a cooler freaking bucket. It doesn't completely scream the movie, but it's very simple, but also just really cool. So I'll go with this over that. Get the frick down there as well, you son of a bitch. You two. Get the frick down there. All right. I should do the cups since the last thing will be the biggest deal. So me and Dave were arguing this. Dave went for this cup. I kind of like this cup more, but I might be leaning towards the Superman one. I got a different straw for some reason. I do have the original version of the straw for this too, but that one's downstairs right now, so I'm not getting that. But they gave me like a different straw. And I do like how they both light up. I love how this one does this. It can also do that. And this. This one's still pretty cool as well. Where's the button? There it is. I do love the glow of both of them. Look at the purple. That's pretty cool. I'm not turning off the lights though. But yeah, I do like this. Now, I will say this is technically a more practical cup that you can drink out of, where this one is, you could argue, is really annoying to hold just because of the formation of like the rocks and stuff on it. But it still works fine enough. It's not too bad. I actually have two of these, believe it or not. Got the symbol, nothing on top of that though. And of course you got the figure of the guy on his light cycle. That's cool. Now I will say this thing pops off a lot. Luckily it hasn't popped off on me recently, but this thing has come off quite a bit. This red part. And honestly, cup design wise, while it isn't bad in its design, it's because it's so simplistic for the most part, it's just any normal cup, just like what I said. This is kind of reverse of what I said with the Beetlejuice one. While this one technically is more practical, I think I do have to lean towards this one. They just have a much cooler aesthetic going on here. And while this does have a lot more going for it, it's still not enough. So, sorry, Tron, you lost twice. Superman was going to win one of these eventually. Now get the frick out of here. Oh, ironic, I put the frickin' Superman cup with the Superman bucket and the Tron cup with the Tron bucket. Funny. All right, last. Ugh, this is frickin' ridiculous frickin' pile. All right, I'm going to exclude, this one's already a loser. The reason, I do like this bucket. It's very nice looking. I like the color on the inside. It's still cool, and I love seeing all my favorite characters on it, and even the actors that portray them. But what did they do, especially with these two's faces? Like, what the frick did they do to their faces on this bucket? It looks weird. This is why people wanted the Galactus bucket. He looks mostly fine. And other than the fact his head couldn't fit all the way on the bucket, he looks mostly fine. But what the frick did they do with them? They look like weird CGI abominations. So I gotta take this one as last place already. That's frickin' crazy. Alright, who do we have next? Okay. I think the Fantastic Four movie, by the way, is great. It may be slow for some people, but it was the first time in a little bit that I saw a Marvel movie that I actually like somewhat. Alright. Alright, Dungeons & Dragons. This was a great and hilarious freaking movie. I love the grave scene part. That's freaking hilarious. This sadly got dented, so that sucks. And it's just kind of black, empty void on the inside. The characters look mostly fine. You can tell they made them more kind of animated looking here. Maybe AI design. No, I'm just kidding. But it's okay. I like the colors and such. It's an okay bucket. A moderate bucket. But I don't think it's going to be my favorite. So it's getting the frick out of here. Next. Oh, this one technically is a good one. I like the colors. Like, look at the colors on the inside. That's pretty cool. But I did kind of enjoy the Blue Beetle. My friend's a big fan of Blue Beetle. The same one that gave me those other two things. And this is a nice bucket, and I did enjoy the movies. I wouldn't say it's the best of the DC movies, but it's not as bad. This is a nice bucket. Looking at this again, especially on screen, I love the colors. So I'm going to keep this up here and like compare it later. Maybe give it a place. Now, this technically does have nice colors, and I do like his eyes coming through his own hand. When I saw it, but it's got just normal silver on the inside. It's kind of rusting a little bit on the edges. But it's just the same image on both sides, so kind of boring, but it was one of my first metal buckets that I picked up. I think it's fine, but not a winner. Probably one of the weaker ones. Ugh. Then we got... Is there something inside this? Oh, okay. We got... Okay. Receipts. Apparently. Alright. There we go. That was weird. Silver on the inside. This is a cool bucket, though. I do love the colors. This is one of my more favorite ones. I love this movie, too. I also like the Doctor Strange. Not one of my favorites, but I love Doctor Strange stuff. But this is a nice one with all the characters. Looking at this again now, while I do love this bucket, I don't think it's going to be in my favorites. But it's definitely probably going to be like a top 5. It'll probably be number 5 itself. So we'll give it that spot. Now get the frick out of here. Let me move on. All right. I actually have 2 of these. So let's actually get the second one out. Whoops, sorry, Joker. So I have two of these. They're basically the same except one's shorter. And it's the same thing all the way through, by the way, multiple times. And this one's longer. I think I like the image being longer, so I'm going to take this one out of here. Though the red and the blue symbols of the Republic and the Imperials does help it to stand out, but I'm going to go with this one. But it's Rogue One. Decent movie. I wouldn't say the greatest of the Star Wars films, of course, but one of the better ones, I guess. Mostly saved by the ending, even though it's kind of an ending that's very similar to how it plays out in a lot of other stuff, like Halo Reach, even Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, even though that came after. There were a lot of stuff that did a very similar thing of all these characters going in for one final battle, sacrificing themselves. It's nothing new. I do think it's a bit overrated. Without the Andor show, too, if you tried to tell me about any of these characters, I don't think a damn person would remember a thing other than, like, him saying that the Force is with me and I am with the Force, or whatever he says, as well as the badass Darth Vader scene. But those are just very brief scenes. And, yeah, it's not enough. It's also got, I just noticed there's a dent right here. But, otherwise, okay popcorn bucket. Let me look at these again. So, because we're getting down to these last ones, and I'm gonna have to decide on these. All right, let's get the Wonder Woman one out of the way. So I do like this one. I love the colors. But it's the same thing on both sides. It's also 3D. It's okay, popcorn bucket. I think I like... Let me look at these. Yeah, I think the Dungeons and Dragons one looks better than this one. No, you know what? I'll give this 4th place. I'll give it 5th place and give Thor Ragnarok 4th place. It's a good bucket. I like the colors. This is a great movie. I'm still trying to get Dave to see it. Dave has not seen it at all. Moving on. I think these are the top 3, but which one's my number 1? Now, of course, Guardians 2 and 3, I don't think I ever got a 1 bucket, if there were any that were there at the time. I think there were multiple Volume 3s, but this was my favorite one of them. Once again, I love the utilization of the colors and such. And though it's not the same thing on all sides, it's such a cool looking popcorn bucket. It almost gives me, like, because it's got so much like rock music and stuff in the movie, kind of gives me like a rock album cover vibe, which is pretty cool. So I do really like this. And I do really like this frickin' bucket as well. I love the colors once again. I love that they have the reflective design. I'm guessing they did one for each character. I love they have their name as well as the image of themselves. Oh, these two are so hard to choose between. I think I'm going to give the edge to Volume 3 just slightly as my number 1 of these ones. And this number 2. They're very close though. And Blue Beetle is going to be number 3. It's great colors, and I actually really like the colors, just really pop to me. But yeah, that is about it for that. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me what your favorite popcorn bucket of them are, and maybe even ones that you've collected over the years. And I will see you guys next time. You have an awesome day. Goodbye. And don't forget to tell Jimmy's mom hi.